All right, everybody, welcome to our Monday night team call. Thank you so much for joining us and getting on live tonight. I am super excited to talk to you about something that I feel has been instrumental in me moving my business forward, and that is discipline. So I happen to have been very, very fortunate that I had parents that really helped me learn how to be self-disciplined from a young age. And that was really through my musical education, which I've talked about. Excuse me, I'm just going to mute everybody. Which I've talked about in the past on other team calls. But basically, from a young age, I started playing the harp when I was 5 years old. And every single day I had to practice. And I had to practice on days when I didn't want to, on days when it was the last thing I wanted to do. I had to get up early to practice, and it wasn't by choice. My parents, it was like a non-negotiable rule in our house, like you will practice, end of story. And I'd even practice pouting at them or glaring at them the whole time, but I practiced every single day. I showed up. And it really wasn't until I became a coach that I started to truly value what they had taught me. And that really is self-discipline. And I hear a lot of people say, I could never be as disciplined as you. You know, I could never do what you do. I couldn't, I'm not self-disciplined. I'm, ADHD or whatever. They just say that they don't have self-discipline. But the thing is about self-discipline is, or being disciplined in any aspect of your life, it's something that you can learn. So it's not like you're born with it or you're not born with it and you're just screwed either way. It's a tool, it's a muscle that can be developed just like anything else. So think of it like as your health and fitness journey. When I first started, I was not working out every single day. Like, hell no. I wasn't working out at all. I was never a type of person who worked out. But I knew that that was part of a practice that was going to get me to my end goal. And in the beginning, I sucked at it, and it was horrible, and I wasn't consistent. It wasn't really until I became a coach, honestly, that I started working out every day. But I showed up every day. So even if you think already, that you're not self-disciplined, that that's something that you can't do, look at other areas of your life where you've already proven yourself wrong. Because all of you here on the call are health and fitness coaches, right? And so you've learned to make fitness and health a priority in your life. And that takes a lot of self-discipline. And for me, I've been thinking a lot about this in this week, kind of leading up to this call, and thinking about areas in my life like where I could be better with self-discipline, because I'm not always great, right? So I want to sort of give you 7 steps, I guess you could say, for becoming more self-disciplined in your life. So first one is to expose yourself to positive messages, right? And we already do that every single day with personal development. And if you're not doing it, then you should get off the call and find something and do it. Because this, I feel like, is the number one most important thing that you can do is personal development. So it can be, it doesn't have to be like how to manage your time or how to be a self-disciplined person. But it just needs to be something that speaks to you. Because when you do personal development, a lot of things happen. But one of them is that your self-esteem improves. And because of that, you feel better about yourself. And when you feel better about yourself, the self-doubts and the inferiority that have been telling you that you're not a self-disciplined person go away. Or if not go away, they get quieter, so they're not yelling at you in the back of your mind. Next thing is why, another reason why it helps is it gives you courage to face your fears. Because one of the reasons people quit is they're scared of failing. And so if you are always doing personal development, you're reading these positive messages, then you're going to basically train your mind to see fear not as a stepping stone, but as a stepping stone to your accomplishments. So basically, number one, personal development every single day. It's a reason it's one of our vital behaviors. They say 10 minutes. I say at least half an hour, because you really need to dive in and then not just read it, but actually apply it. And I will be the first to admit, I am not always so great at applying it. I'm great at listening, not so great at applying it. And it's something that I'm really working on hard. And by applying it, I mean like, I do apply it in one way, but not in the like, okay, I know so-and-so's told me to write down my goals every morning and every night before bed. Haven't done that. So there's like, I know there's little parts that I can improve on. But, okay, so number 2 in these 7 steps to becoming more self-disciplined is hang out with positive people, which you're already doing. Yay! Number 2 accomplished, right? So when you join Beachbody, I mean, it's freaking amazing, this community that we are surrounding ourselves with. I don't know about you, but after being a coach now for 2 years, my whole news feed is pretty much coaches or other positive people, because if people are not positive and they post stuff that I don't want to see, I will unfollow them, because I just don't want that coming up in my realm. So hang out with positive people, and that can be, virtually, or it can be in person. But if you hang out with people who lack self-discipline, you're going to struggle with it yourself, because I'm sure you've heard, right, you're the average of the people you spend the most time with. Well, I think virtual time counts as well, because we spend a lot of time on Facebook, in our social networks. And if you're always being surrounded by people who want to be self-disciplined, who are positive, who are goal-oriented and result-driven, then they're going to have an influence on you. So you've already taken that step by joining Beachbody as a coach. You've already surrounding yourself with these amazing people. But also look at the people you're hanging out with in your life. Are you hanging out with people who maybe don't have the same goals as you? They don't have the same drive as you. They are always talking in a negative way. And I'm not saying don't hang out with them or cross them out of your life, but just be aware of how the people you're spending time with make you feel. Okay, so number 3 is determine how badly you want your desired goal. So this one is super important, right? Because if you don't care about your goal, you're not going to be self-disciplined enough to actually make it happen. So if it's something that you sort of kind of maybe hope will happen one day, it's not going to be important enough for you to actually take these steps, be disciplined every day to make it happen. So your why, we talk about this a lot, but your why has to be strong enough so you can follow through with the what, which is basically what you need to do every day to make it your why, to make your why happen. And so if your why or your reason or whatever you want to call it is strong enough, then you will do what you need to do to make it happen. End of story, right? Okay, so number 4 step is basically visualize yourself as having the self-discipline required to achieve your goal. So some people might think of visualization, I just got totally tongue-tied, as something that's really woo-woo, right? Or that doesn't work, that's not concrete. But I really honestly believe in this. And I highly recommend you try it to yourself. So see yourself as being somebody who is self-disciplined enough to achieve their goals, who's self-disciplined enough to make this a habit. Because we tell ourselves stories all the time, either consciously or unconsciously. And a lot of times these are stories that somebody else put on us. You know, like it drives me crazy when, for instance, one of my children doesn't want to say hi to somebody, and someone standing next to me will say, "Oh, she's shy." And it makes me so angry, because that is something that they are putting on her, that they're deciding for her. And she's going to hear that. And if she hears that enough times, she's going to grow up thinking, I'm shy. And maybe she didn't feel like saying hi, you know, or maybe she was distracted. But so often we have these stories that somebody has decided for us when we were young, and it went into our subconscious somewhere, and it stayed. And you have to be aware of these stories. So if you're constantly telling yourself, I'm not self-disciplined, you know, I can't sit down and be focused for an hour, that's just not in my makeup or whatever, then guess what? You're not going to be able to get there, right? And that could have been something that someone told you way back when. And I don't know if you guys have all read You Are a Badass, but in there she talks about how much we are ruled by our subconscious, when really we think that we're making all these conscious decisions and we are, you know, everything we do is a choice, when in reality we are truly ruled by our subconscious. So that's why the personal development and why visualizing yourself doing these things is so important, because you actually can rewire how you think. You know, we actually, our brain cells like regenerate, I think it's once a year. So you literally can reprogram yourself. You know, I am not the same person I was 2 years ago. Yes, self-discipline. I've been fortunate enough to have, like I said in the beginning, to have parents who really helped me with that as a child. But it doesn't mean that it's easy. You know, it doesn't mean that every single day I'm like, yes, I want to go do some more work, you know. But I have practiced it long enough. And that I believe that doing these actions, using this, God, I'm like tripping up on this word today. Visualization will help. So, okay, number 5 is set small and achievable goals. So I'm sure you guys have heard this before in relating to goal setting, but it also is really helpful in the world of self-discipline, because if you set these small goals for yourself that you know you can achieve, you're going to be more likely to sit down and do them, right? So that's why Success Club is such a great goal. Sorry, my cat wants in. Is such a great goal for us to have as coaches, because it's a small goal that if we hit every single month, it's going to make our business grow, right? So that's one small goal. And then we break that down even more, and we just say, just send 3 to 5 invites every single day. Do a little bit of personal development. Find some new people to talk to. So these are very small, achievable goals. You know, when we get overwhelmed is when we look 10 years down the road, 5 years down the road, and we say, I want to be a 15-star diamond elite coach, 6-figure earner. I want to retire my husband. And those are amazing goals, right? And that's awesome. You should have those massive goals that scare the crap out of you. But then you also have to break it down into things that you can really do. Because if all you focus on are these huge goals, you're going to paralyze yourself from ever taking action. So make it small, make it achievable, and make it your habit to do these every single day. So number 6 is become accountable to somebody. So this is what we do for our challengers, right? We are their accountability buddies. That's what our challenge groups does. We help people have accountability to make them be self-disciplined before they can be. So that is, your success partner. If you don't have a success partner, I highly, highly recommend you get one. Mine has been instrumental to, or I should say, both of them, because I am lucky enough to have two. They have both been instrumental to my business, and I know I wouldn't be where I was today if it wasn't for them. So these are people that I talk to every single day, mostly in text, but then once a week we have a phone call. And they help me keep myself accountable, because I know I'm going to be talking to them every single day. Another person is your upline. I am here to help you guys in any way possible. If you need more accountability, I am happy to call you out once a week or every single day if need be. I am happy to do that for you. But just find somebody that's going to hold you accountable, because this is going to help you before you can hold yourself accountable, if that makes sense. Okay, number 7, and the last one, is get to work. It's take action. Because it's this crazy thing that once you take action, even if it's the smallest amount of action, it's going to propel you to take more. So it's hard to start, right? Starting is always the hardest. And this actually just happened to me last weekend, right? I am horrible at prepping my food on the weekend. I'm great about planning my menu and going shopping and getting all the food. And then I usually get home and I don't want to do anything, right? I'm like, I'm done. Can we order pizza for dinner? And I really, really didn't want to. But in part of my effort to look at self-discipline and look at other areas of my life where I could be better, because we're going to talk about that as well, why that is important in a minute, I realized that food prep and really sticking to the nutrition guide on a program has been a weakness of mine. I've totally let that slide. I sort of kind of do it, like I do it enough to maintain my results, but I'm not really following it 100%. So I made that commitment that, okay, these next 60 days, I'm really going to do this. So anyways, I got home. I really didn't want to prep my food, but I knew it had to be done. So I was like, okay, I'm just take the first step. What's the first thing you need to do? Okay, pull this out of the fridge, do this. And I made like the first thing, like a salad dressing, like that was easy. And it's once you start this momentum, once you take this action, it builds on itself. So I was like, okay, I made the salad dressing. All right, now I can cook the chicken. I'll get the chicken out. And it's the same thing with doing your power hour every single day. If you just sit down and you say, all right, I'm going to send out one invitation. Okay, I'm going to invite one person to a challenge group. And you do that, and then you're like, hey, it wasn't so bad. I could probably do another one. So you do another one. And then it's like, okay, I've done 2. And now I have Sarah over there, and I'm going to talk to her. And so taking these actions, it inspires you to take more action. So that, I think, is so important, is just do something every day that you know is going to move your business forward. Because the more that you do, the more that you're going to want to do. Because I see so many coaches that I feel like they never put in enough effort to actually get enough of a reward that's going to make them want to stick with this. Because coaches come in and they sort of kind of try and they don't really get results, and then they think it doesn't work. When in reality, they never quite work just quite hard enough to get the reward for their efforts. Because when you do that, when you see your reward, when you get to help somebody change their life, when you get to have somebody message you to say, thank you, oh my gosh, my life is forever changed because you invited me, because I did this program, that is incredible. And that inspires you to take more action. So if you are really struggling with self-discipline, I really do feel that how you are in all aspects of your life influences everything. So there's at the New Leader Conference, it was Jeff Hill did this great speech. And in it, he talked about this athlete who is extremely, extremely disciplined. He's some kind of like, ultra marathoner guy who just does insane things. And he asked him, one day he had this cottage cheese and he was to eat for a snack or something, and he had rinsed it. And there wasn't any nutritional benefit to rinsing the cottage cheese, and he asked him, why did you do that? And he said, it's just the little bit extra amount of discipline that helps me keep my edge. So it's like that little extra thing that he does to keep that environment, that feeling of discipline. And Jeff Hill asked us, he said, what's your cottage cheese? Basically, what areas in your life can you give just a little bit extra that's going to help you stay disciplined? And so I really encourage you guys to look at parts of your life. One thing I really, really admire in my coach, Jessie, is every single freaking day, that girl wakes up at 5 a.m. And every single day she works. And every single day she works out. And I sort of looked around at my day-to-day behaviors, and I consider myself a pretty disciplined person. But I realized, I'm like, what? On the weekends, I've been letting myself sleep in. And then because I've slept in, my workout gets later. And then I typically don't get my power hour done because I'm with the family and it's Saturday night and I don't want to. And so that's really leading me to miss 2 whole days of work. And so I realized, okay, that's an area that I can be more disciplined. I can make that commitment to get up at 5 a.m. every single day, even on a Saturday, even on a Sunday, because I know that culture of discipline in my life is going to help me in all areas. And I also realized with the food prep, with sticking to a nutrition guide, if you guys want your business to absolutely explode, follow a program to the T. Because you're going to be so freaking excited about your results and how amazing you feel. You're going to want to share it with everybody. And then that discipline that you cultivate by following a program that way is going to affect all areas of your life. It's going to help you be more disciplined with your business, just as you are being more disciplined with your fitness. So I recommend you sort of look and evaluate aspects of your life where maybe you are letting things slide and that is affecting your business in a negative way. So just to sum it all up for you guys, number 1, expose your mind to positive messages, which is personal development. Number 2, hang out with positive people. So make it onto these team calls. Participate in the team group. That's not just for me up on my soapbox. This is for everybody. And the more that you participate, the more that you're an active member, the more that you're going to get out of it. Number 3, determine how badly you want your desired goal. Do you really, honestly, truly want this business to work for you? Are you so excited about that it inspires you to take action? Number 4, there we go again. Visualize yourself as having the self-discipline required to achieve your goals. Stop listening to any stories that you're telling yourself about the fact that you're not self-disciplined or whatever crap that you're carrying around in there. Use visualization to rewire that story. Number 5, set small, achievable goals for yourself. And that can be anything for you. For me, Success Club has been a huge one. Inviting every single day, doing my power hour every single day. Those have been small, achievable goals that I've set for myself from the beginning. Number 6, be accountable to somebody. So get a success partner, or reach out to me and I will call you every week and hound you. Whatever you need, find somebody to hold you accountable. It could be your husband too. They're great for that. Number 7, get to work and take action, because that action is going to propel you into further action, and it's going to basically make you be self-disciplined. Okay, that is all I got for tonight. So I'm going to meet you guys and tell me if you have any questions for me. All right, you're unmuted. Anybody, any questions?
No questions. I think, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
So no questions, but that was awesome. And I think what really resonated today for me was the self-discipline part. I think for me, the biggest thing is, it's just coming, with, I mean, life is happening to everybody. I can't say because I have 2 kids, I'm busier than somebody. Like, life is just happening, whether you're single, whether you have kids, whether, it is what it is. But the self-discipline part and really sticking to it, as far as your nutrition and as much as your power hour, etc. And so, yeah, I think I need to find more or reach out more. And actually, I was planning to do it today, and I don't. And so it's weird that you talked about it. Reach out more about, like, to ask the group to please motivate me, because sometimes I'm like, I'm in the challenge groups and I really want to motivate the challengers, because the first round I saw such amazing results, and now we've been sticking really to the clean eating and to the program, but then like I not as much as we were before, and so I wanted to reach out to the group to be like, I need your guys' help. Like, I need you to motivate me again, to, like, as if I'm constantly in a challenge. Like, I'm challenging myself, you guys are challenging me. So it was I think needed to hear that. So thank you.
That's great. That's super great. I think that's awesome that you recognize that, and to use the challenge group in that way, and use our coach team page in that way, because we're all here to help each other. We all have moments where we struggle. Like I shared, I've been crap with my nutrition for a while. And yeah, I know you're not alone, and I think that's great. Thanks for sharing. Did you, Katie or Roxanne, have anything you wanted to add?
I just love what you said about culture of discipline. Like, I just love that idea, that just to take it into your life in general, like beyond coaching and coaching, just for everywhere. And I also, where you said, look, like, in your life, where are you disciplined? Like, what actions do you take daily that are disciplined, not coaching related? Because I struggle with self-discipline when it comes to coaching. And so I always think, oh, I'm just not disciplined at all. But when I think about it, that's not true. Like, I feed my family and my in-laws every single day. I feed them lunch, like, you have to be disciplined to have lunch on the table at 12 o'clock every single day. So it's good to look and say, oh, you know what, I am, and I can take that back to coaching and I can make this work, So thank you.
Absolutely. Yay. I'm glad that you like that.
Yeah. And I think that's an excellent point, because I think to that point, when I look at, there are other areas that I'm disciplined in. Where I struggle with is when it comes to getting outside of my comfort zone. So the inviting, and I like, your idea of talking about the discipline you grew up with and applying that. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. Absolutely. I'm glad this resonated with you guys tonight. It's something that I've been wanting to talk about for a while, because I do feel like sometimes we sell ourselves short, right? And we, like Katie said, you're like, wait, no, I do this every single day. Like, I can do this. And it becomes a habit, like we tell, it's 21-day fix for a reason, right? It's 21 days to make a new habit. And so sometimes you just have to force yourself to do it for long enough until it becomes a habit. But all right, thanks guys so much for jumping on live with me tonight. It was great talking to you, and we will talk again next week. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alicia.
Bye.
Bye-bye.